Yikes. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hello, 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 and welcome back to your constitutional cutie. There's so much that I want to say. So much. We'll just start from the top. One, my absolute apologies about how inconsistent I've been with my videos and the fact that I haven't even posted in 2 months. To be honest, I've been going through like a really weird phase where I just do not believe in myself and suffer from chronic self-doubt, or just, just a general like reticence in terms of achieving what I want and going after what I want and loving what I do. And the truth of the matter is I genuinely had to keep forcing myself to do something about the fact that I love teaching and I want people to know this stuff. I want people to know what they're getting themselves into. I want people to understand how legal institutions work. But I also want us to understand our history. And I also want you as a everyday man, especially when a Bantu person, to really understand how stacked it is against us. And the best way to fight it is to inform ourselves. So there's going to be a bit of changes in terms of my content, only in the sense that I'll be doing a whole lot more than just doing legal education. I'll be doing a whole lot more than just talking about marriages. I want to even track the history of my people as I learn about Vatsonga and the Tonga and the Ronga and the Twaronga, tracking the movement of the Twa people, tracking the movement of the Bantu people, tracking the movement of the Maasai, tracking what happened to Africa as well, what happened to us. I feel that a lot of the problems that we face in this world is because we treat Black pain like the child nobody wants to see and the trauma nobody wants to acknowledge. Because if someone were to get in touch with their pain and actually start working through it, and the humanity you start recognizing in others, it takes a lot of self-accountability to start seeing the role you play in the pain of other people. So I think it'll be very uncomfortable for a lot of people. It is. That's the nature of Black pain. But stay with me. Learn with me. Grow with me. You are welcome to speak and to ask and to judge. Damn it, even if you disagree, that's not going to change a fucking thing about who and what I'm trying to do. And it took me a very long time to get an understanding of what I want to do with my platform, especially with the fact that it's growing and I want to grow it. So I am so sorry for being inconsistent. And I'm also sorry for taking so long to do this. It really does scare me to actually try and have this YouTube channel thing or even go into it. I'm afraid of the notoriety. I'm afraid of what could happen. I'm afraid of the consequences this might have for my life and the direction that, the trajectory of my life. I don't know if this is going to impede or if this is going to be the thing. I don't know. And that's scary. So let's figure that out together. Give me the opportunity to get my together too. And I am. I honestly, really, truly believe that I am. I think I am in a space where I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. Whatever happens, happens. But for the fam that stayed with me and waited, thank you. For the people that will still join, you're welcome. And for everybody, welcome to Constitutional Cutie. I had to get that out the way, and I did it without makeup intentionally. But now that we are here, and for some reason today the lighting is kind of working and I'm very happy with it. I'm actually kind of happy with how it looks in general. Let's get right into it. Yeah. Today we're doing marriages. We're gonna chat about why did you get married? I'm joking. You can get married. I'm just talking to those who are like-minded at this point that actually want to get married, the ones that would like to understand what the institutions means, how you can get married, the consequences of marriage, and obviously what you need to have a valid marriage. I just got this LA Girl HD color correcting primer. That thing of me always going, where the hell is A, B, C, D, E, F, G was not working for me. I'm a huge pattern to your skin person, and I love using my fingers to do that. And as always, Gugu has forgotten to tuck in her nose ring. She tucked in her nose ring. Kind of like the feel of it. It's very nice. I like how it feels on my skin, actually. Very much. And it's sunk in there. Okay. But I'm huge into moisturization, so I'm probably going to go in with something else. And this is a skin illuminator. We're going to definitely add that. Also part of the haul today. Also LA girl. I like affordability. I really love the products that I use. They're products I've had for the longest time, and they work great for me. So I like kind of sticking to what I know. Ooh, what is that? That was illuminating glow, sis. But let's get into it, right? So marriage, bum bum ba bum. You know, for y'all that want to do it, don't ask me for my personal opinion on it. I'll trash it. Here's the thing about when y'all get married, right? And I'm not going to get into the makeup just yet. Here's the thing about y'all when getting married. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Y'all just want to put the ring on and you get married and it's done. Eh? Not knowing what a matrimonial property system is. Imagine. Imagine walking in blind, willy-nilly. Love is love is nice. Love is gorgeous. Love is beautiful. Okay? I love love. But guys, can we make knowledgeable decisions? Can we just make a concerted effort to know what the hell we're walking in on? First things first. This is South Africa. Okay? Men lie. They lie about what they own. They lie about what they have. They lie about everything. And I know there are going to be so many people, hey, nah, you are being whatever the hell, misandrist, hey, you feminist, hey, you... I'm not doing that because y'all lie, and then people get married to broke people with very horrible financial acumen and then end up even poorer. If you're marrying a man, don't do it in community or property. They're liars. They don't have the money that they say that they do. No one has the money that they say that they do. Absolutely everybody's playing pretend. We are all ridiculously broke and stressed. So protect your partner and yourself. Don't get married in community of property. If you look at marriage as an institution, the only person that benefits is the rich, because then they get to give it to who? Their family and their wives, and they keep the money where? To themselves. You are not part of that 1%. You are not Johann Rupert. You're not an Oppenheimer. You're not a Rothschild. You are a general human being who needs to listen. Stop looking at yourself and looking there by capitalism, thinking that you're going to get there. You're not. Be realistic. Here's your box. You're not going to be a millionaire, especially when you have a salary. So stop acting like it. It's not in community. Out of. I don't care. Never. I don't care. I know you. I don't care. You love him. I don't care. Okay? I do not give a absolute. Don't get married in community property. For y'all who like gold digger, we want prenup. We don't have prenups in South Africa. We have anti-nuptial contracts. Okay? So we'll be doing marriages. The 3 ways you can get married in South Africa. We'll be doing 3 types of matrimonial property systems as well. And I'll also explain what that is. And we'll also go through an anti-nuptial contract at the end to give you an example of what it looks. The example that I've chosen has the matrimonial property system of out of community of property with accrual, which is probably the one that you should download and keep, because that's the only way. If you really, really want the best of both worlds and really, really want to build in that's the one I'm giving to you, because that's the safest one and the best one in my opinion. All right, now let's get into it. Let's actually do my face. The 3 ways you can get married in South Africa. There are 3 different legislations that are working together in this marriage game legally, right? So the first way you can get married is a civil marriage, the most commonly practiced one in South Africa. It is regulated by the Marriages Act. Then you have the civil union, which is for the alphabet mafia, but I'll expand more on that. It's the civil union for the alphabet mafia. And then you have a customary marriage, which is for... Please pat down your foundation. Don't smear it. Pat it in. You've got a textured skin, so treat it as such. Do you see that there's no difference between my neck and my My face? Yeah? Match that stuff, okay? Make sure it matches. Please and thank you. We're gonna talk about the first one. Civil marriages. I don't like using foundation, especially around here, because I'm gonna come in with the concealer and powder and the stuff, so I don't like caking on the makeup. Okay, just also don't judge the state of my foundation as well, but I really love the Infallible range of L'Oreal. So anyway, a civil marriage. A civil marriage is, as I said, the commonly most practiced marital institution regime that there is, because it is the generic one that's been in law since about 1965. And again, pat it in, I'm going in with the MAC powder. Number one feature about this one, right? The first thing, number one feature, between a man and a woman. The legislation specifically states that it is between a man and a woman, right? In the same act, in the same act, it also says that girls at the age of 15 can get married with permission from their parents and the Minister of Home Affairs. Is it the Minister of Home Affairs? Oh my God. And remember, if the union is not really recognized by legislation, either Recognition of Marriages Act, Civil Unions Act, or the Marriages Act, they're not really recognized as legal entities. Because remember, when you get married, and this is why matrimonial property systems are important, your legal identity and your partner's legal identity needs to be legally recognized. And that's basically what the laws are there for, to create that legally recognized union between you and your person, and therefore what to do with the property in that marriage should it dissolve or one of you die. You know, certain benefits are basically automated by law because the law recognizes your union. So there's some religious, if it's not by African custom, which is Recognition of Marriages Act, some religious marriages like Hindu marriages and Muslim marriages are not recognized as marriages for the legal institution or a legally recognized entity. However, some work has been done because there is a bit of a gap, because it's not just them. It's also like those people that just want to live together and live their lives with the best lives. And you know, they don't want to do this whole getting married thing. But the law says, yikers. But there are certain times where the judges are like, okay, we'll see y'all. We'll recognize y'all. You know, in certain things like maintenance, and now how in certain religious marriages that I've already mentioned, those religious marriages are recognized, and there's like maintenance, and duty of maintenance is recognized, whereas with other unions, they don't have any courts do that. They just happened that if they got married in that institution, it was completely safe and completely seen as okay. The joke of it all is because what they think is the solution is to enact another marriage law, another one, so all cultural marriages can be recognized. Imagine that. Instead of just updating the one and making it all okay. Right? Weird. Wild and weird. Pat. So for a civil marriage, right, there are specifically certain things that you can't do because you are married, or if you want to enter into a marriage. And these things kind of apply across the board. Because again, instead of taking the one and extending it, they decided to file in a whole bunch of other shit, and then now we're just gonna have to pick what we like from the Marriages Act to apply it to everybody else. But anyway, point is, there's certain people that just can't get married. I'm going to highlight my skin now, and I really like the Essence Camouflage. It's always been a baby of mine. I've always loved it. Put that right there. You don't need a lot of product. Please don't do that thing of like, you'll be blending for days, okay? It frustrates the hell out of me too. Certain people can't get married. You can't get married to a direct relative. That is called incest. You're nasty. And for some reason, people had to put it into law not to try and marry your sister. Because you need a law to tell you not to do that. You can't marry someone if you've already been married. If you are in a civil marriage already, that marriage has to be dissolved. That legal entity has to disappear. So if you're married in a civil marriage and you want to get married to someone else, that's called bigamy. It's not right. It's illegal. This needs to be dissolved by divorce or death. You cannot, by any circumstances, marry a direct relative. Okay, there's actually a way of calculating that, because I think that's wild. I think it's so wild that you even have to put it down in a legislation and be like, so if you are this related to someone, I'm looking for a brush. If you are this related to someone, you cannot be with them, or you cannot marry them, because why would you want to marry your mom? It's weird. It's weird. It's really, really weird. But apparently it's a thing. I remembered it best as is that 2 degrees away from the common ancestor. But I'm gonna quickly, before I blend this out, I'm just gonna leave it for a second. So if the common ancestor is this person, and this person has 2 kids here, and they also all have kids here, that's 1 degree and that's 2 degree. So it must be 2 degrees away from the common ancestor. So if common ancestor is this person and they have a whole range of kids, and a kid from here and a kid from there want to try get married, they can't, because 1, 2 brings them over here. But if it's, so she had a kid very young and is very old, and that kid also had a kid very young, and then a whole line of other kids happens, and then the one over there and that one over there also want to get married, and if it's that kid, then it's 1, 2, 3, and then it's 1, 2, valid marriage. Get me? Hopefully it makes sense. And boys under the age of 18 cannot get married. But for some reason, 15-year-old girls have enough capacity to get married. But apparently it's the gays with the agenda. Also recognize how I am patting it in. Yeah, they really said we need permission of the Minister of Home Affairs, or like the permission of the court, as well as it acts as an upper guardian for children. And also remember that with the Marriages Act, it was enacted where? In 1965. So if you want to take a walk through history, I venture that you read that act. It's very funny. It's very funny. There's multiple references to like Christian names and whatever, because apparently you also had to be a Christian to get married back in the day. Remember? So one of the things you also need to remember is that because of the segregation, Bantustans or homelands where people like me stayed, they had their own rules regarding marriage. Now we have the Recognition of Marriages Act and every other legislation that's been created for marriage, because we're all equal now. We don't hate each other anymore, apparently. So under general, I know I started talking about marriage, civil marriage, right? But the thing is, when you discuss a civil marriage, a lot of the requirements is also kind of fit in with that one, because that's the one that upon which all the other ones are based on. So a lot of the requirements are actually in the Marriages Act. There are some amendments here and there, and corrections that have happened in many other acts that have been read into this act and updated, or there's been an extension here and there. I think there's a few of them that had to be made, and to update the very, I'm gonna call it what it is, low-key racist Marriages Act, but very homophobic Marriages Act. In general, this is what you need to get married. So only marriage officers that have been declared marriage officers in the Marriages Act can officiate a wedding. So it's either you go to Home Affairs and you do your little quick court little wedding, or you go the regular route, the one that they always love with the pastors and stuff. But the point of the matter is it can only be conducted by a prescribed marital officer. I'm going in with the Yardley loose powder that I love very, very much. But do you see why I don't put now that the concealer's on, you can see that smooth finish on my skin, right? That's why I don't like using too much product, because I've got also some layers under my eye like that, and pockets of product always get stuck in there, and I end up like blending for days, and that's absolutely unnecessary. While that sits, we can also talk about this. A marriage must also be conducted in the presence of at least 2 witnesses, and it must either be in a church or another building used for religious services, in public offices, or let me read it, private house with open doors, or in the case of serious injuries, the marriage may take place in a hospital or the relevant facility that it needs to be taken place on. Marriage certificate, requirement number 3, the marriage certificate. It must also be signed by 2 witnesses. Yeah, and then, there's a whole like technically thing where the marriage officer, after the 2 witnesses have signed and you guys who are getting married have signed and he also has signed, then they give you like a handwritten marriage certificate, and then you submit it to like Home Affairs, and then all of a sudden you have like a valid marriage. You actually also need your IDs as well, just proof of identification. And if you are a foreign individual, there's a separate form for you to fill out that you can attach your information with as well, your passport information as well. DH something, I'm not gonna go that deep. Like, you can literally, which is what I love the most, you can literally go to Home Affairs, Google marriages, go to the Home Affairs website. It's got everything for you, the forms, everything you need. This is just me doing it, also showing you how to be pretty and cute. So just a reminder, don't marry minors. Don't get married while you are still married to someone else. And don't marry a family. What the hell, guys? But yeah, so in essence, as I said, under general, those are the things that basically make a marriage valid. Married under the Marriages Act as a man and a woman, and you unionize and solemnize your marriage. Done. Then we touch on the customary marriage. And if I were to ever try touch on this history, we would not be doing marriage talks. We'd be having a humongous chat about racism. And we're not doing that. Well, not right now, anyway. But customary marriages were recognized with the recognition of Customary Marriages Act. It's in the name. And I'm going to contour. And this, again, I'm going in with the Infallible L'Oreal Infallible Concealer, which, again, I keep saying, I love this product, man. And I take it from the bottom of my brow and I bring it down. And I bring it down there. And I'm gonna leave it right there. Do you see where the light touches my face? And do you see where it goes dark? It goes dark here, right? So we contour there. So a customary marriage is a marriage that is concluded in terms of a specific cultural practice. It's very specific in its languaging when it says very nicely that it deals with the African, the indigenous African inhabitants of South Africa, which means that it is very much tied to what? Right? It's not just any customs that you can just go in and say. It is specific to the Bantu people, indigenous people of this beautiful land that has been through a lot. But the best way to remember this, yeah, you can get married in a monogamous relationship in the recognition of Customary Marriages Act. But we all know who wants this one. And it's those ones that it's the polygamists. But the polygamists, yeah? Because polygamy is also recognized in the recognition of Customary Marriages Act. And it's the same with everything else, must be over 18. The marriage certificate, as I said, it applies under general. Here, straight people can get married to multiple partners, but again, it's only men that can get married to also brush up when you blend out this thing. Go up, up. This is where patriarchy comes in, because apparently only men can marry polygamous. Polyandry is not recognized. They do that anyway. They just had to legalize it, didn't they? But much like everything else, both must be the requirements for a valid marriage in the Recognition of Marriages Act basically touch on very similar things. You must be over 18, you must be competent, you must have capacity to get married and competent to get married. You must both agree to be married under customary law. So you go through, not the motions, but the lobola, the negotiations, depending on the custom which you follow and however it is said to you, you follow that, and then you solemnize your marriage through that, and then you go register it as a customary marriage, which is also seen as a very legally recognizable entity. I did not forget about the powder. I just like leaving it on forever and ever, amen, until it sits. And of course, if you're going to both agree to the customary marriage, you must actually actualize that marriage according to that custom. And that is for the polygamous, or let me use the lettering in the Recognition of Marriages Act, the African indigenous folk. So I'm gonna go in with the Yardley. I like doing, again, a cheat someone taught me. I forgot who, but it's a cheat, right? So right above wherever you contour, just bring that color back in with the blush. The civil union now, the third way you can get married in South Africa. Here's the thing about this one. So this is where the gays can get married, right? And because the straights don't like being left out of anything, this actually makes provision for same-sex and for same-sex, opposite sex, whichever sex marriages, right? The gays and the theys, okay? But the straights as well. What confuses me and has always confused me since law school, and I really like my teacher for teaching me this way, because she also was like, you know, if there's an act already, just going in with the blush where the contour was here, and then I'm just gonna pat it as a transition color. Yeah, so the civil union. The straights don't like being left out of anything, guys. Well, civil union basically says anyone can get married, must be over the age of 18. Same requirements, solemnized, not necessarily a church this time. But what I find very funny, which is why I was going to bring up my lecturer, is because my lecturer also said it exactly this way. If we can create an act like the civil union, which is gender neutral and everybody can get married under, why is the Marriages Act still like a thing? Like, why is it separate institutions if everybody can get married in it? The civil union is the act that doesn't perpetuate. I want to say it doesn't perpetuate. It's the one that's not leaking in misogyny and racism, you know, that type of stuff. So that's the one I usually say people should go do. So again, I'll explain it a bit more in depth with the matrimonial property systems. But because the legal entity that is created by your union, it's you, it's your partner, and then it is the legally recognized institution. And because the law looks at you like that, like I'm the law, this is the institute of marriage, and that's you guys. I recognize you as married people. So if you don't have this, the law sees you as just this. And that's where the civil partnerships and marriages that aren't really recognized by law take a true L, because the law still sees you like this. If you have a contract, your cohabitation contract, it will recognize it like any other contractual relationship. All rights are specific to that contract. So if you leave anything out, your partner's screwed. You know what I mean? Now we get to my favorite part of the game. Matrimonial property systems. A matrimonial property system is a regime in which property ownership between spouses is regulated, right? You, your spouse. Your estate, their estate. So matrimonial property regime governs what happens with this, and also governs the capacity to act that you have dependent on the regime that you choose. So there is, in community of property, two legal entities, you and your partner's stuff, your partner's stuff. In community of property, you become one, like this. You're one. That means no eating, breathing, sleeping without your partner. Okay, there's certain transactions that you'll need your partner's permission for. And if your partner goes down financially, so do you. Okay? The joint estate is declared insolvent. The joint estate is attached to debt. Each other's debt. Getting house together, both of y'all. Cars, both of y'all. Everything, both of y'all. In theory, it's adorable that you get to do everything together. Super cute. But as I said, we're broke and they lie. So no. Okay, I'm gonna do my brows now. Like the Kryolan. I use the face liner. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to, but I use a face liner. I'm gonna use my brush. Antenuptial contract. This is where you basically state your matrimonial property regime, right? Matrimonial property system number one, it's the one that doesn't exist. It is in community of property. You are too broke for this one. Stop it. When you like taking a rent and ask if you're in community, and then it also needs the permission of the person, that's why, because of the consequences of getting married in community of property. Assets, liabilities, split 50-50. Should it be dissolved? I mean, if you're gonna get married, just don't do it in community of property. And we have out of community of property completely. I don't really have to do much for my brows. I really just draw that line for flavor. Fierce by nature, Morphe. In community of property, out of community of property with the exclusion of accrual, your partner for the rest of your life, you're fine. Then out of community of property with accrual means whatever I had before you is mine. Whatever you have before me is yours. Whatever we build together in this relationship is us to split, should it be dissolved. The problem with a lot of y'all is that people mix what this partnership is about. Because you are married in a certain regime, they immediately assume that because they're not in control, that they can't treat you like an equal or a partner or just a normal nice person. So they will usually say things like, no, but if we aren't married in community of property, what will we be doing? Are we truly committed to each other? Don't fall for that trap. Don't do that. Okay? Stop it. I don't care what their religion is. I don't care. I don't care what they were raised. I don't care how much he insists on it. I don't care how much he tells you you're gonna leave, because I'm very specific about the gender, because I know they're liars. They do that. So I'm gonna bring in I'm gonna blend it out with a very light brown that kind of goes with my eye. I'm gonna pack on the black over there, and then I'll do a voiceover of the antenuptial contract going over it in addition to this video. But those are the 3 ways you can get married in South Africa. As I keep saying, placement is absolutely NB. I'm going to use the same brush that I was blending out with just to soften the black. And I'm going to soften it inward. Blend, blend, blend. We're going to blend, 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 and blend. I actually talk so much and did my makeup so slowly. And I don't care. I'm going to take the LA Girl. Ooh, pigment. Tap that in there. Oh my god. A subtle shimmer. So now we're gonna just do the mascara, because we know me and mascara. I love my lashes. There's one thing I love. It's my lashes. I'm gonna go in with the, come on, Maybelline. Start, eyes open. Start here and work your way up. Then I do the same for my lower lash line. Second coat of mascara going in over here. See where the light hits naturally? That's where I hit the highlight. We're going to do an ombre. I'm gonna go in with the Essence Matte lipstick, stays on. But a hydrating mist we're also gonna try out from LA Girl. I told y'all, I really took them heavy. Oh my god, that smells good. What? Dragon fruit. Oh, look, smells so good. That was hydrating mist. And then we're gonna just setting spray it. I started playing around with lip gloss before I actually closed out my video. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you're going to have a better idea of what to do when you're getting married, and which matrimonial property systems to actually get into, and how the hell you're going to do this relationship thing. Okay, there are many things happening at once when y'all take on this marriage thing. There's like your partnership, the romantic relationship, the financial business partner that you're teaming up with, and the romance and the parents and the whatever the hell else positions y'all put yourselves into. All those roles need to be managed effectively, independently, and interdependently. Okay? And the financial aspect, can we not use love to govern that decision? Can we not use love to govern that? That's where the matrimonial property systems come in. That's a business relationship. Treat it as such. Okay? This is your financial partner this is your business partner for the rest of your life. Okay? Be responsible. Protect each other, like every other relationship that contractually is related to business. Protect your assets, you protect their assets, you go in together. That's my position. Get married in community of property. And thank you. Hello, hi. And now we get to the antenuptial contract part of the agreement. The example that's going through right now is the out of community of property and out of accrual. It's very simple, very elegant. Dololo, I'm me, you're you, we're just in this together. One of my favorites, but I'm only showing you the examples of the antenuptial contracts that you will be doing, because we are not doing in community of property, okay? So the antenuptial contract is the agreement entered into between spouses before they wed that defines the matrimonial property system. As you can see, this example with accrual has a whole lot more information, but this is a natural byproduct of having chosen the matrimonial property system. All of this is just a very nice legal jargon way of saying whatever you had before me is yours. Whatever I have before you is mine. Whatever we build together is ours. Our joint estates are not going to be attached to each other's debts, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. It's all in there. The antenuptial agreement must be registered within 3 months of having been signed. So all those documents that you send to Home Affairs for them to register your marriage, you take all of that, including the antenuptial contract that you have signed, and you send it to the deeds office so it can also be registered. All of this is in the Matrimonial Property Act, and take a stroll through it if you have time to do so. Just a baby reminder. If financial independence is a threat to your relationship because someone is a provider and they're not providers, they're broke and they want control, get out. This is literally your future. Please be serious. Let's make informed decisions. Yeah? All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Love y'all. Mwah.